Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Alva and I am so grateful to be here with Isabella, who is a yoga teacher and Alpha Method practitioner in training. She's from Boston and I met her, I think, how long was it? A couple of months back, right? At the Standards Fund.
Yeah, that was in January, like right before COVID hit, at your surrender class.
And it was all synchronicity because she wasn't even meant to go to the class. Someone told her about the class that met her in the pool, right? And the whole purpose of these talks, these Wild Women Speaks interviews, is because I want people to meet other women that have transformed their lives through the 10-day Wild Women of Abundance online experience. And so I'm so excited for Isabella Langan because she is a leader and she's really like, whoa, catapulted herself into stepping into that role. And I'm sure there's people listening that would like to be more of a guide, a coach, more of a self-healing person for themselves, or for people that are really hard on themselves, or people that are going through codependent relationships. Isabella has so much wisdom to share with us in her young age in life. You know, she's definitely an old soul, and I'm so honored to have you. Thank you for being here. And thank you, God, for bringing her into my life because she has. Anyway, I'm going to let you talk here. I just would love to know if you can share with us where you were at in your life before the 10-day Wild Women of Abundance.
Yeah. So going back to childhood, I had really bad anxiety and I would constantly wonder what other people thought of me. That ever since I could remember, I never thought what I thought of me. So I'd constantly ask for outside affirmations from other people. I'd ask if things were okay. And I wouldn't ever know if anything was okay myself. And I just really didn't trust myself and my thoughts. And it continued to be that way. And I was just constantly running from myself. I quit drinking 2 years ago because I used to use drinking as an escape, especially because then I felt like my anger could come out and I could actually say what I meant to people instead of just bottling it all up. And I just constantly couldn't focus on myself and thought, what did other people think of me? I didn't know who I was. That was a big thing. I'd constantly see my interactions with other people and be like, oh, they don't like this thing, so maybe I should do what they're doing because then they'll like me more. And I just constantly was trying to people please. And then right before the first Wild Women of Abundance, I just got out of a 3.5-year relationship, and I entered that relationship when I was still drinking. So then I quit drinking during it. And I just never learned to actually love myself because I was like, oh, I have this partner who says that they love me so much, and that's enough. I guess this is just my life. I'm always going to be kind of sad and not feel like myself, but it's okay. And I'll just live my life for other people. And I would never make time for myself. That was the biggest thing. If someone asked me to hang out, especially my ex, I'd constantly be like, all right, I'm going to hang out with him instead of meditating tonight or something, because I didn't know how to say no to people. That was a really big thing too. I would not respect my true wishes or my intuition. So then we ended up breaking up, and I just was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I really need to actually face myself for once. And I was really scared too. I didn't know how to begin. And then I saw that Michelle was starting the Wild Women of Abundance, and I was like, all right, I need to try something. I need to stop living this way. And she seems so happy and full of life, and there must be some hope out there that women can feel this way instead of feeling so incomplete. Like it was like a piece of me was missing. And after quitting drinking, I'd been told in the programs that I went to that it'd be filled, but it still wasn't. And I was like, there's just something out there that I'm not getting. And I just realized I really lacked self-love. I didn't forgive myself for the past, and my emotions, I just always bottled them up. and they just continue to stay bottled, and then I just explode on people and say things that I didn't mean, but like I just had so much anger and rage and I couldn't express it or like feel my emotions because I just bottled them all up, and I had emotions from childhood that I'd been bottling up. And yeah, that was where I was before.
And then thank you for sharing. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. I know for sure I can. I mean, my mom and I, we used to just yell at each other. We really didn't have conversations back and forth where she holds space for me and she listens with unconditional love and no judgment. You know, it was judging, yelling, bicker, I'm right, you're right. So I can relate a lot to that. And I'd love it if people want to comment down below. How was your childhood? Did you have some of that growing up where you felt you got your self-esteem or your self-worth or how lovable you are based on what other people thought of you? There's a lot of codependency happening. That's what it's called, codependent. So when you break up with someone, you feel like you just want to die, like you lost a part of yourself, because we actually have never felt our whole self. So how did the Well Women of Abundance experience these 10 days and beyond, you know, because we've also had one-on-one sessions together, benefit, which is the Alva method, you know, using this other approach. Well, it's integrated in the Well Women. But how has the Well Women, and what exactly was it, or what tools or what practices that I taught you, or maybe even just being in a group of women, and did really help you to discover this love that you definitely today, I mean, I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, so before, like, I was in a very negative headspace towards women. I felt like other women didn't like me, and I'd like would point out things in other women just because I felt insecure in my own self, and I'd see all those flaws in myself. So then it was definitely like through meeting these amazing women and you that could just hold each other and be there for each other. I was like, wow, I'm starting to notice how amazing people are. And then self-care and just taking time for yourself and the E3 breath, the meditation, and just learning to like open up and flow and release my emotions. So when I go on Insight Timer and do like a few of your meditations every day, and I'll just like release stuff that I'll remember stuff from when I was a little kid and like start releasing it and actually feeling those emotions instead of just burying it, because before I buried so much that they were all just still there dormant in my head subconsciously, and I just repeat patterns, and then I just learned to release and that I can be a new person.
That's one massive part of the Alva method process, that like the big one, that I teach people how to process and release the energy of our stuck emotions. So if anybody out there feels anger, you yell back, you react, everything bothers you, or you can't be around certain people because you get triggered, that's a sign that you're very holding on to a lot. And so Isabella, can you share with us, what is it like to live your life holding everything, as opposed to processing and flowing, listening to meditations, massaging yourself, doing this? What is the difference? Like, what are the benefits of processing your emotions?
The benefits of processing my emotions is that I don't need to react to situations and triggers in the world. And then like another big thing is I'm just able to be happy instead of like thinking, when's the ball gonna drop? When's something bad gonna happen? I'm able to really enjoy life and
the present moment.
What? Yes, exactly.
You're more present because you're not thinking of what's gonna happen, right?
Exactly, yeah. And then also just like being with my emotions and really feeling them and like not just stuffing them away, and like being able to sit with them really like helps me understand them instead of projecting onto other people and seeing that into other people, because that was a big thing that I do. I just project a lot of like anger and like see it in other people and just didn't know how to handle that.
Can you name one thing that you would project on someone that would annoy you or irritate you, that you realize, oh, I'm struggling with that with myself?
Yeah, so a big thing was like negativity. I'd always be like, oh, that person's so negative. But then I'd like when COVID first hit, I just constantly watched the news all day. Like it's like I enjoyed tormenting myself and being like, what's gonna like I was also addicted to drama and toxicity and just creating chaos because it distracted me from myself.
Wow. So I would love to know what people are thinking as they're watching this, because, you know, the drama movies, the drama series, we've created so much drama on television to support the addiction of drama that we have, to numb us out, really, to distract us from the drama that we have not processed. This is a very powerful message, Isabella, how, you know, we like the drama because it kind of numbs us out to our own drama, and so that we don't have to look at our own drama.
Mm-hmm.
We can focus on another person. And how many of us have been in relationships where we pick that person who's so dramatic so that we don't have to notice that we got all this drama. Let me pick this person that there's no way I'm going to be able to focus on myself. Like, it'll be so much more fun to just focus outward, and it doesn't hurt me. And every now and then I'll just get drunk, you know, maybe smoke something and, you know, numb myself out a little. And so this is the way a lot of us live. And what are the benefits of flipping that, Isabella? What have you discovered from facing, feeling, flowing, and then?
Yeah, so I've discovered that like there's just so much joy in the world that I didn't notice before. That's a big thing. And just feeling like just so in tune with the universe and feeling like everything's going to work out. Of course, like I still get like a little upset sometimes or triggered, but I'm able to know like my triggers and able to be like, all right, that was not okay. Before I used to spiral, like I'd just keep going. I'd be like, I'd get myself into a frenzy and just be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like freaking out, asking advice from everyone because I couldn't sit with myself.
You calm yourself now, you soothe yourself, you reset. That's powerful. So you're empowered.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a victim. You're not a passive, you know, you're more active. You're.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Wow. I feel it. It's a feeling. And when you are knowing how to calm yourself and how to just be aware that you're gonna get angry or the emotions are coming up, what would you like women to know that are curious about the Wild Women of Abundance, that really benefit you, that would be so worthwhile to join the 10-day experience?
Yeah, so something that you've taught me is to like hug a pillow and love that part of you and just, here, let me grab one, and just like feel that part of you that is feeling that way. And I remember I did one of your inner child meditations and I like hugged my inner child and I was like, oh my God, she so needed that. And just like feeling that way and understanding that it's okay to feel that way and not to punish yourself, because the more you punish yourself for feeling that way, then you punish yourself for punishing yourself for feeling that way. And
that makes everything heavier.
Exactly. And it's just like, you also don't need to, like, you can forgive yourself too. That's like another big thing. I feel like a lot of women, it's really hard for us. We're always thinking about the past. Yeah.
So forgiveness, processing emotions, coping strategies to get in touch with your inner child. And then how about after you do all those meditations on your own, the group classes via Zoom? What benefits did that give you, the group classes?
So just seeing women being able to share vulnerably and like relate your experiences to them, that's just so powerful because you realize you're not alone. I felt like very kind of alone in my experiences, but then you see other people telling you, oh, I feel that way too. And you're just able to like share that magic with each other.
And so would you say that the 10-day Wild Woman of Abundance taught you also to be emotionally available, vulnerable, communicating more vulnerably? Have you noticed a difference with dating or relationships?
Yeah, so I actually, I'm just a couple months out of the relationship, so I haven't been like trying to date actively, which is so different from what I would have done in the past because I needed someone else to like affirm my worth. And now I'm kind of just like going with the flow and like talking. I mean, there's some people that I'm talking to, but I'm just like honest with them instead of being needy and being like, oh, I need this guy to like me. But I'm just like being my authentic self instead of trying to change for them or whatever. And I think that's like a lot better because I feel more vulnerable and like I'm having more like serious conversations with people that are like coming from the heart instead of just this level. I'm jumping into anything, like getting like a new boyfriend like immediately now or anything, because that's just not, I need to be with myself for a bit fully.
That's so beautiful. And in the Wow Women of Abundance, we speak from our hearts. We begin every class. There's 5 classes in 10 days and a bonus class somewhere in there. And we start every class opening up our bodies and connecting to our hearts. And so we're not just talking. It's not a group where we're just talking. We're heart connecting and we're having heartfelt conversation. And I think that is so healing in and of itself. And so is there anything else you want women to know before we end the interview? Is there anything else? Because I'm really grateful for everything you shared.
Yeah, I just think as women in society, we're just on like constantly comparing ourselves to other people instead of like comparing ourselves to ourselves and trying to be like this best version that we can be of ourselves. And all that matters is like your own inner happiness and peace. It doesn't matter if everyone else thinks you're this, everyone else thinks you're that, because at the end of the day, the relationship that the only one you're gonna have your entire life is the one with yourself. And that's just like, I was always putting other people before me, and that just made me so angry at other people because I was like, oh, like I put you first and then you like hurt my feelings, then you screw me over. But then I'm like, wait, no, that's just me not focusing on myself and being like, oh, do you know what? I need to be my own best friend, like you've taught me, and be my like own number one. And I think sometimes in society, people will be like, oh, that's selfish to like be your own number one. But like, it's not even about that. It's just like your own internal emotions and being confident and loving yourself, because you really cannot love someone else unless you love yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not being selfish, it's being selfless, like loving yourself first, because then you can give all that love to other people.
I call it being soulfish.
Yeah.
And so what Isabella just shared is pearls of wisdom, just like one after the other. And we can only be how we are with ourselves, with other people. The way we are with our parents, with our friends, with our coworkers, the way we interact with people is simply how we interact with ourselves. And so if you're in a toxic relationship, if you're in an abusive relationship, if you are not happy with your relationships with people, that is simply, when we point the finger out, there's 3 fingers pointing back at us. And so that is just feedback, letting you know where you're at in your relationship with yourself. And this course was designed to bring us to an abundance mindset. And so instead of spending money on the program, you are investing priceless amounts in your lifetime. And I knew when I created this, because it was in a meditation that happened, that this idea came up, Wow Women of Abundance, because of COVID. A lot of people were out of business. A lot of people right now are not working as much or have to change how they're working. I used to work a lot one-on-one with people, and I would touch them, doing energy healing. When I was working as a physical therapist, I was touching people, and I couldn't do that after COVID, especially not even seeing physically people. And so I began to teach Zoom classes in groups. And I started to do this donation-based. That way, everybody was welcome. And so people were saying, are you still working during COVID? And I'd be like, I can't not work during COVID because this work is too powerful. This work is too amazing not to do it because of money. And so I have an abundance mindset where the abundance is what we are, and my mission in my life will never stop because of any reason. It's a part of my life. And so I'm so proud of myself, happy with myself. Like, I just need to share that out of scarcity and lack, fear that I saw in groups of women, different groups, I came up with this idea. Well, it actually was given to me through a meditation. Thanks, God. Create a program about abundance, because they forgot. They're forgetting that their nature is to be abundant. That's the message I got. And so I looked up into abundance and studied abundance, and then come to understand that when we meditate, what I came up with was the abundance posture, because how our body postures affects our mindset. And how we breathe also affects how we feel. But then also there's an abundance roller that if anybody wants to purchase the abundance roller and invest in it, it's a great addition to your life. Do you like the abundance roller?
I love it, yeah. And I also have your Wild Lust, which is amazing as well.
Yeah, if you want to amp up that sexy juice. So we can actually use essential oils. And in the Wild Woman of Abundance, you receive the abundance roller, and you get to practice with your sense of smell. You get to massage yourself. You get to hold yourself accountable too, with an accountability partner. And I just can't speak enough about it. I think it's awesome. And I wanted to have these amazing women that are attracted to the program, that want to just fine tune some things, are making leaps and bounds. And so the Wild Woman of Abundance graduates have told me, Michelle, I want to do the Alva method. I love this approach. I want to do more. And so I came up with this abundant heart inner circle, because I teach a lot of Tantra. I talk a lot about sexual empowerment, but the key to the sexual empowerment is an open heart and an open coochie too. However, it begins with the heart and the voice and opening up to being the witness. I mean, it's not just the genitals, you know, people think that Tantra is all about that. But anyway, getting to the point here, what I created is this 6-month abundant inner circle, abundant heart. But then I was like, well, Isabella is an amazing coach, you know, she's an amazing guide. And she actually is one of the people that inspired me to create the Alva Method practitioner training, which is launching August 19. And we're going to go through a 6-month sacred incubator, you know, where people are going to be trained in the Alva Method. And Isabella is a practitioner in training right now. And she's already facilitated a group of women. And I would love it, Isabella, if you can share with us how that's healed or helped or empowered you to be in that role. Where one of the classes, I asked Isabella, because during my meditation, she came up during my 1-hour meditation, abundance meditation, then I need to call her and ask her if she can hold space for the group and for them to share their stories. And then I got off that call, and then she just let me know when to come back on. And I would love if you can, and it was a total surprise, and she said yes. So part of being a Wild Woman of Abundance is about taking action, trusting your gut, trusting your heart, because a lot of us procrastinate and we don't trust ourselves. So in the program, you're being tested, you're being strengthened. And because you never thought that would be happening, right?
No, I had no idea. I was like a little bit I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Yeah, it was amazing, because like I've always felt kind of like I have this like in stuff that I like want to share with people, but I didn't know how to. I was too like scared and not like confident enough. But then when you asked me, I was like, all right, here we go. So then being able to facilitate that group was amazing, because I just felt like I was able to really speak from the heart and have other people resonate with me and have them open up to and share experiences that they'd had. Just made me feel like just so great and like just really like powerful, to be honest. And I was like kind of ashamed of like feeling, I was like, oh, I don't want to look like I'm like self-centered or like being like, oh, I'm so great or something. But I was like, do you know what? Like, no, that was great. Like I I need to stop putting myself down all the time and like be proud of my accomplishments and what I've done and like where I've come from, like emotionally before.
And you know what else is beautiful about that that's coming up to share is our crap that happens in our lives. Like, I mean, I say we turn our shit in the Alva method, shit into fertilizer. And so shit stands for strengthen, heal, imagine something new, and thrive. And so codependent relationships, toxic relationships, when we say that, resentment, bitterness, anger, rage, sexual trauma, you know, childhood trauma, whatever we have felt was a hurt, it's happening for us. It's perfectly happening for us. So right now, COVID is happening perfectly for us during the election, perfectly happening for us. The sex trafficking, the pedophilia, all these things, which personally for me, there's so much misuse of sexual power that the Alba method is also going to teach people about sexual health and how to flow your sexual energy in a healthy way. This way we're not codependent on people for sex, which happens so much. And so we can look at the shit as an opportunity to grow. And that's what Isabella has done. And that's what actually is our nature to do that. Yes, believe it or not, you know, fertilizer is made from poopy. And we are breathing oxygen and we're making CO2 for all the plants. So it's actually in alignment for us to grow from our shit. It's in alignment with what we are for us to keep expanding and learning. And so for all of you out there that are going through a massive challenge, we are here for you as a resource, both of us and the other trainers, training students. We're here to give you that support. So please reach out to us. And Isabella's information is down below. And I would love to hear from everyone what benefits you had from listening to Isabella spew out her wisdom, because she blows me away how spot on she is. And she's just, I'm really grateful for you. And I know how to pick them. Like all these people that are Alba Method practitioners, I've worked with some amazing teachers, like leaders on this earth in self-development and self-improvement. And Isabella has this gift of just channeling. She just rolls it out. It comes out of her and she does not stop herself. And that's what I love about you. And so let us know how you enjoyed this interview, and we are going to keep sharing. This is not the last. It's the first of many. So I love you all out there. Love that codependent you, if that's what you're going through. Love that angry you, whatever that is that you're having right now that you might be ashamed or you're covering up or holding in the way Isabella was, and me in my life. It's important for us, let's just take a pillow and hug it and pretend that's you. And you can change your life, definitely, in the Wow Women of Abundance. You can create massive transformation. So the links are down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Isabella, for being with us.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to say before we close?
Just, I'm so glad that I met you, Michelle, and I love you so much, and just what this program has brought me. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see what happens going forward, and super, super excited for the future.
Yay! And you're creating it, remember. So it's gonna have yoga and Alba Method in it. And I mean, I can't wait to be a part of you and do a virtual class via Zoom. We're gonna do a yoga class. Isabella is also very much into essential oils, as I am, doTERRA. So we're definitely, yeah, there's her diffuser. And we're just gonna create more and just surrender and let thy will be done. And that's the way life is so juicy when we do that. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Isabella. That was so much fun.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.